Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media, and welcome to the 41st episode of my thrift store haul series, where I share with you guys all of the items in the physical media world that I've picked up at my local thrift stores. Today we are going to look at a stack of DVDs and a couple of VHS tapes. So 12 items in total. Let's not waste any time at all. Let's dive right into my thrift store haul number 41. Okay, let's get started with the VHS tapes I grabbed. And I think I may have mentioned it in my last haul that I'd gone through all of my VHS tapes that I had picked up from the thrift store in that video. But just the other day, I happened to hit up a local thrift store and they had a few that I had to pick up. So we're going to show 2 of them in this video, a couple in the next video, or maybe a few in the next video. And I think that'll cover everything. I think I found 5 that day. But anyway, with that said, let's jump into the first one here. I was able to find Austin Powers. So this is the original International Man of Mystery. This is just too cool to pass up. I mean, the artwork alone on this is just so much fun. I had to have this in the collection. I know this goes against really what I was saying that I was kind of sticking to with VHS from here on out, but sometimes you got to make an exception. For a quarter, I'll find the space in my collection to have it in here, at least for now. Maybe it won't stay here forever, but it's going to stay here for now. Man, look at how yellow the back of that is. I just noticed that, but I don't see any mold or anything like that. So yeah, happy to have this one in the collection. I just thought it looked so much fun, and it's just a great movie in general. I do have this on Blu-ray already, of course, but yeah, this was just a cool ad. So we have Austin Powers, the International Man of Mystery. One could argue that this also kind of falls outside of my guidelines, but the reason I wanted this is simply for the nostalgia factor, because this is the original way I saw this movie, probably for the first, I don't know, handful of times, 5 times or so that I watched this, because my aunt had this at her house, and that's how I watched Speed for the first and I don't know how many times at that point. But I love this movie, and I actually recently upgraded. I think I got the double pack on Blu-ray. I have not gotten the 4K, at least I don't think I have anyway. It went down in price though, but I think I passed on it because I had picked up the double pack of it. But either way, this is just cool to have in the collection. I wish it was in a little bit better condition. You can see kind of on the side there, it's creased a little bit, but I'd never seen this in person before, so I wanted to pick it up. It's just such a good movie with Keanu, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Hopper as our main villain. So definitely wanted this in the collection. And it fits just because it's nostalgic. I guess that's the way it fits in. So I'm good with this one being in the collection as well. So the other VHS tape I'll show today is Speed. All right, let's jump over to the DVDs now. And first one here is actually one I found just the other day as well. This has been on my cheap movies to find list for quite a while now. I had this one and its prequel, I guess, in my eBay cart for a while, but haven't pulled the trigger, and I'm glad I didn't because I found it for much cheaper than eBay. This is Slapshot 3. This is the Junior League. I was trying to remember the subtitle on this one, but yeah, I need this one and I need number 2 in the collection. Is there a 4th? I think that's it. I think this is only a trilogy if I'm not mistaken, but correct me if I'm wrong down below. But yeah, I had to have these in the collection. So I've never seen this one at all. So happy to add this to the collection and finally check it out. We have Slapshot 3, The Junior League. Sticking with sports movies, this is actually a Disney film, but one I've not seen. We have Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. So I know this is based on a true story, but I don't, it's from a story of Vince Papal, who frankly, I'm not familiar with. I'm a big football fan, so I don't know. I just am not familiar with this individual at all. But yeah, looking forward to checking it out. Huge sports fan, obviously. Football is my sport. I love football. I'm wearing my hockey shirt today. That's my number 2 sport. But yeah, so excited to see how this one is. We have Invincible from Disney with Mark Wahlberg. So this one definitely isn't a sports movie, but it's still a sport. Kickboxing, that's a sport, right? We have Kickboxer 3 and Kickboxer 4, this double feature set here. So I've actually never seen any of the Kickboxer movies, but these two have Sasha Mitchell in them, and they just looked fun. So I figured, you know what, for the price, I might as well grab this one and add it to the collection. They are both on the same DVD, and unfortunately, whenever I saw this down here and I thought, oh, okay, it's in the right aspect ratio. No, they're not. They're both full screen presentations, which frankly, I mean, maybe that is the right aspect ratio. I don't know. Were these direct to VHS releases? You guys will have to let me know. I'm not sure. But either way, excited to check this whole series out eventually. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just need Kickboxer 2 now to have the full series in the collection, but I'll have to double check that at some point here. But anyway, Kickboxer 3 and 4 is now in the collection. Speaking of collections I've been trying to complete, I have most of the Step Up movies, which is a silly franchise to try to collect, but they're actually pretty darn good for what they are. But I didn't have the original at all, and so I was able to find this one on DVD, and so I had to pick it up. Now, I did watch this one again recently, and it's a good movie, if I'm being honest with you. I had a good time with it. My wife really likes these mostly, which is why I think I have like the two latter ones in the collection, but I needed Step Up 1 and 2 to complete that. And so had to grab this one. I'm still looking for Step Up 2. I'm not going to search eBay for it or anything. I'm not in any rush. I'll just try to find it as I'm out in the wild. But yeah, I watched this one again recently, and I think it's actually a fun movie for what it is with Channing Tatum. I mean, it's just a good movie. And our main actress in this, oh my gosh, what's her name? I'm totally missing it right here, but she's great. I can't find it right now, but she's great in this as well. So yeah, I think this is definitely notably better than Step Up 2, because we watched that one not long after this one. I think this one is a lot better, but I'd still like to have all of them in the collection eventually here. So I was able to find Step Up. This next one is a completely random one that I saw once quite a while back when it was relatively new, and I thought it was okay for what it was, but I've been thinking about trying to revisit it. This is Grown Ups. So I know not a lot of people are going to be interested in this one or think that this is worthy of being in their collection, and that's totally fine, but I know this is mostly a vanity project for Adam Sandler and all of his friends, which is fine. I still laughed when I watched it, so I figured I would give it a rewatch here, and I want to watch the sequel because I haven't seen that one yet, but that's one I'm still on the hunt for. But anyway, I'm a big Kevin James fan. Adam Sandler I can be hit or miss with, as I've talked about in the past, but I just love Kevin James, and I've been watching a little bit of King of Queens recently, so it's just on my mind, so I wanted to grab this one. This is Grown Ups. This is another movie that I watched quite a long time ago. I think I rented this one from Blockbuster when it hit DVD, and of course he passed away recently. This is Super Size Me. So now, looking back at this, we know that most of the findings that are the conclusions he comes to in this were likely just because he was an alcoholic, and I think he had a drug issue as well. Not a good guy either. Morgan Spurlock, of course. Not a good guy by many accounts either, and in terms of his workplace environment. But all that aside, it's just an interesting documentary to have in the collection. And was honestly worried after he passed away that it might be a little bit harder to come by. So I wanted to add it to my collection because I came across it for cheap. So why not? For a quarter? Or no, I guess this would be about 50 cents. But yeah, for 50 cents, I might as well have it. And I really enjoyed it when I first saw the documentary. I'm interested to watch it again, kind of with new eyes. And now that we know what we know about him and his history, but still a good one to have in the collection. This is Super Size Me. Here's a bit of a comedy classic, and I remember watching the beginning of this, but I don't think I've ever seen this one all the way through. I have the Revenge of the Nerds DVD. This is the Panty Raid edition. So I'm sure this is going to be a heck of a lot of fun to take a look at. And like I said, I know I've watched parts of this, but I'm fairly certain I've never watched it from beginning to end before. And I'd love to, get all of these in the collection. I think that would just be fun because it's just one of those series that people always talk about highly. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if I like it or not. This is the Panty Raid edition of Revenge of the Nerds. I actually found this one while I was on vacation, and I forgot some of these are from my vacation haul that I started showing off back in the summer, but I never ended up getting through everything. But anyway, this is from a thrift store, so it had to be in this haul. We have The Never-Ending Story 2. And I think this one, The Next Chapter is the subtitle on this one. But yeah, so this is one that I've not seen, but I have seen the original. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the original, but I do want to revisit it because it's one of those movies where I just may not have been in the right frame of mind to watch it, and a lot of people love it, so I feel like maybe I missed something, so I really want to give it a second shot. But I didn't have the sequel in the collection, so I figured, you know what? for the cheap price, I might as well add this. And it has a really nice snapper case with it as well, and in shockingly good condition for its age and the fact that it was at the thrift store. So yeah, excited to see this one and see if I enjoy it any better, at least, than the original. This is The Never-Ending Story 2, The Next Chapter. I didn't realize I had 2 Rob Schneider movies in this stack here, but turns out I do. This is Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. I have been on the lookout for this and Male Gigolo for the longest time now, in just searching in the wild, and I still have not found the original to this one. So I'd have to check that one out first, but I wanted to see these. I've heard kind of, mixed things about these over the years, but I like dumb, stupid humor like this, so I'm thinking I might enjoy this one. So I was happy to come across this one, especially because it was very cheap, and that's really the only way I want to add these to the collection. But these might be ones that I watch and just discard after the fact, but hey, for, the price, who cares? That's totally fine. They can be disposable like that. So we have Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. And last but not least is one that's actually available through Arrow on 4K if you're interested in that, but I've never seen this one, and I had a copy from my inherited movie collection that I got a few years ago, but that one was in full screen and I wanted the widescreen edition. Fortunately, I came across Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in the proper aspect ratio, so I had to grab this one. Actually, this one technically has both the full screen and the widescreen on it. It is a flipper disc, which is always fun. But yeah, this one is directed by Kenneth Branagh, which just fascinates me that Branagh did a Frankenstein movie. So yeah, great cast on it, excellent director. Can't wait to see how this one is. This is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. All right, so there they are. Maybe not the most exciting of my thrift store hauls, but hey, sometimes you got to take the mid with the great. That's just how it goes when you go thrift store hunting. But I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Is there any in this stack that you actually recommend, or did I just waste a few bucks? Fortunately, it was very cheap, so that's always the positive part of it. But anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments, so leave any and all thoughts down there on this and anything else. I really do appreciate that. But that is going to do it for today, guys. So thank you so much for checking out the 41st episode of my Thrift Store Haul series. If you want to see anything else in my Thrift Store Haul series that you may have missed, I do have a playlist here on the channel. I will try to either link that in the cards or somewhere in the description. I don't know where, but you can find it here on the channel if you're interested. So definitely check that out. But that's going to do it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. And before I let you go, I'll just encourage you all to consume some media today. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you all next time.